My journey with art, I don't remember when it started because art has always been a part of my life. And that's a huge blessing. I've always been in art classes, I've always been in the theater, had music, and it wasn't until later that I realized how much the arts supported my mental health and my well-being. And that was the people that I had met in the theater, that was the expression that I had through my art and my drawings. And I still have notebooks and sketchbooks from when I was in high school and middle school, and I look back and I can tell exactly what I was going through based on some of those drawings. And some of them are not the prettiest and are not the kindest and most beautiful drawings because I was going through some stuff in high school. And I'm so thankful that I had art unknowingly as an outlet. And that actually translated into my senior project in college. I did this illustrated book that was a combination of some drawings that I had originally done throughout middle and high school, recreated, and then little poems. But the title of it was, "I've killed myself 1,000 times without leaving the pages of my sketchbook." And it was during that time that I started therapy for the very first time that I realized how much the arts had truly saved my life and been an outlet for me to express everything a young person is going through without doing harm to myself. And so that was a huge realization in the middle of college, and going through therapy there, not for very long, but for enough time to realize the impact that it was able to have on me. And I continued in work and school and ended up moving to Wichita and had kind of fallen off the therapy train. And when I moved to Wichita, one of my goals for myself was to start therapy again, and I actually found an art therapist specifically. Art therapy is where there's a lot of different kinds of art therapy and methods that they use, and I think it's actually probably harder for artists to do art therapy because we want our stuff to look pretty. But some of the projects and the exercises that my therapist helped me with through art therapy really opened my eyes to see some of the things that were going on subconsciously that were coming out through my art. But it's also talk therapy, and it's really whatever you make it to be. But going back into therapy, which was February, it was actually the week of Valentine's Day of 2020 was when I started my therapy journey again. And I'm like, well, Valentine's Day was appropriate because that's when I started to love myself again. And just really dove into some of the stuff that I was going through at the time, but it came into the trend for myself that I called Therapy Thursdays, purely because my therapy sessions happened on Thursdays. And I would document it and I would post about it. Going to my therapy sessions, I would just post a snapshot in the waiting room, and it came to be something that people checked in on me, and they noticed if I skipped a session, or they told me about their therapy journeys as well. And that's been one of the greatest gifts throughout the pandemic and throughout the last couple of years, is being able to connect with people through their therapy journeys. When the world shut down, I started doing therapy virtually, like a lot of people, but something that my therapist encouraged me to do, since we weren't able to meet together, was do my own art sessions. And something in my mind just decided to automatically invite everybody else to do them with me. So twice a week, actually, during quarantine, I would go live on my social media and I would do what I called Annika's Art Corners. I used to teach some of those like painting and wine classes in Lawrence, so I invited people to do those, minus the wine, on Facebook and Instagram with me, and we painted. For an hour every Tuesday and every Thursday, we did a little painting, and whether they were painting or not, we always got together and people were able to sign on and just be. And if they were watching the art or listening to the music or chatting with me in the comments, it was something that I was able to connect with people with. So as I move into the next stage of my life and physical therapy sessions are not as consistent, keeping up with that self-expression, whether that's by myself or with the community through my art, has been something that has really given me consistency, an outlet, and a community, which now as I've come to be mature in my adult life, I realize that that is what my entire life started as. It started in the theater, it started with art classes, it started with people who were surrounding me with art and color and love, and now that's what I'm able to give back.